welcome back to my channel. My lighting is being super weird today, so I'm sorry if it looks odd. I don't know, it looks odd to me. It might not look odd to you all. But anyway, welcome back to my channel. My name is Logan if you've never been here before, and today I am wearing the Harry Styles cardigan that my roommate crocheted for me for my birthday, and I'm obsessed with it because it's warm and it's just so cute. Like, how cute is this? Anyway, welcome back if you've never been here before. Today is going to be another movie video because my videos are super they're travel videos, concert videos, videos with friends, and it's been so hard to come up with like creative ideas during the pandemic. So this is what we're doing. We're doing ranking, or I guess ranking or rating. I feel like rating is the better word, but rating movies that have made me cry. But there will definitely be movies on this list that you would not expect to be on here. If you know me in a personal capacity, or even like if you just know me on the internet, I feel like it's a pretty known fact about me that I cry over movies that like the average person would not cry over. And yeah, we're gonna be ranking them based on what I like to call the cryometer. Cryometer is gonna work is I'm going to rate them based on how much I cried in comparison to how much the average person would cry. So like a 10 for like an average person would be like, you're heartless if you don't cry to this movie, and a 1 would be like, it's not a sad movie, I don't know why you cried, you know? A 10 for me is like uncontrollably sobbing, and then a 1 is like I kind of teared up a little bit, which are kind of the same ratings. It's gonna make more sense. It doesn't make sense right now, but it's gonna make sense when I actually get into it. I'm gonna shut up and get into the movies. We're gonna start off with the movie Clouds because it is the first one that I thought of when creating this video plan. So this movie was super popular a couple months ago. It's on Disney Plus. Very good. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. But I watched it the day it came out because I was on Disney Plus and I saw that it had come out. I was like, oh, I'll watch that. Like, it's got Sabrina Carpenter. It's a Disney Plus original. Like, this has to be good, right? So I watched it. And it broke me. This movie is notorious for making people cry who don't cry in movies usually, because it is so like, oh, it is heart-wrenching. It's so incredibly sad, but also beautiful. I'm gonna rank it as a 10 on the cryometer because number 1, it's the most I've ever cried in a movie ever, and I think it's the most that a lot of people have probably cried in a movie ever, so that's why it's getting a 10. Okay, the next movie is definitely not one that you expected to be on this list, and it's Parental Guidance. I saw this movie in the movie theater for my like 11th or 12th birthday. I can't remember what year it came out, but I took my friends to the movie theater and we saw this movie. Only person in that whole entire theater who teared up. It's not even that I cried the one time. I will watch this movie. I could watch it right now and cry. I don't know, I don't understand how I can see that movie that many times and still cry, because it's not like Clouds is different because Clouds is like really sad, and I could see and understand why someone would cry multiple times, but I don't understand why I would cry over Parental Guidance every time I watch it. I'm just exposing myself right now. Anyway, the part that I cry every time is the ending scene where, what are their names? Where Turner, if you've seen this movie, I think it's Turner, the like second oldest kid, like the oldest brother. Turner, and he doesn't have a stutter anymore, and he does this speech that Billy Crystal taught to his mom, Marissa Tomei. It like, oh my gosh, I just can't, like, even thinking about it makes me and every time I know that's gonna happen, every time I watch it, because it's one of my favorite movies, and I still cry. It's so funny to me. My cryometer, this would probably be like a 2 for me, but it would probably be like a 1 or a 0 for the average person. Honestly, I don't think that average people cry in this movie. Maybe they do, but I've never watched it with anyone who's cried. So I don't want to say average people because I'm definitely an average person, but like normal people that like don't like, that aren't weird and don't cry in every movie ever. Next movie is La La Land. La La Land is my second favorite film of all time. This movie, I definitely cried the first time I watched it. Like, I vividly remember like my mom and I both cried when we watched it. But I would say now that I think I either don't cry or I like will tear up a little bit. I've just seen it so many times. But the first time I watched it, the end tore me apart. It tore me apart. I was so angry at that movie. It was an anger cry for sure. So I think I'm gonna put this at a like a 6 or 7 for me, and then for like the world, probably like a 4, I would say. Next one is like a basic cry movie, but it's The Fault in Our Stars. There's not been a time I've watched this movie and I haven't cried. I definitely cry less and less each time, but I saw it in the movie theater with my mom and my friend Peyton when it came out, and I hadn't read the book first, which is, don't judge me for it, I totally agree with reading the book first. I just like didn't read the book first. I was like 12. I would say the first time I watched it, I'm gonna put it a 9 on the cry meter because I'm saving my 10. I'm saving my 10. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna put like a 9 on the cry meter, and then I would say for like, I mean, this one, I don't think I've ever watched it with someone like watching it for the first time that hasn't cried. I don't know that I've ever watched it with someone who's watched it multiple times that hasn't cried, so I'll put it like probably an 8 or a 9 as well. I think we're pretty like on the same level for that one. The next one is The Notebook, another basic cry movie. This one is weird because I feel like sometimes I cry and sometimes I don't. It kind of, The Notebook is one of those movies that I will turn on when I'm like doing other stuff. So I think if I sit down and watch it, like actually watch it and pay attention, I will cry, but if I'm not, then I won't cry. I would put this at like a 7, and then probably like a 6 or a 7 for normal people. Next is Little Women, which is my 3rd favorite movie of all time. It's the 2019 Greta Gerwig adaptation. I saw this one 3 times in the theater, and I cried in like 4 parts of the movie. I think the first 2 times I saw it in the theater, and then I think I only cried once the 3rd time I saw it in the theater. But since then I've seen the movie countless times, and I will find myself still tearing up during the like whole Beth, spoiler alert, but like when Beth dies, I definitely tear up during that. But in the movie theater I was a mess. And then the other 3 times that I cried were when Beth died, when Lori and Joe are on the hill, when Joe finds out that Amy is married to Lori. So angry. The 4th time I cried was when, this scene kind of makes me tear up still, but it's when Meg and Joe are sitting, it's like right before Meg's wedding, and Joe's like, I can't believe childhood is over or ending. I mean, I'm gonna rank this one like probably like a 6. It didn't make me like sob like other movies, and I'd probably rank it like a 3 or 4 for like friends that I watched it with. Not a lot of people cry in this movie. But yeah, I'm gonna do my favorite movie, which is Titanic. It has always been my favorite movie ever since I saw it for the first time when I was younger. I don't cry less and less each time I watch this movie. I think it's more like it depends on the mood that I'm in, because obviously I know what's gonna happen, and I know what's gonna happen in a lot of these movies, but I think Titanic specifically is such a like complex plot, and there's so many different little instances where you can cry, where it kind of just depends on what part I cry in. I've definitely never not cried or teared up, at least in this movie, so I'm gonna put it on a I'm gonna put it on like an 8 for me, 7 or an 8, and I feel like it would probably on a 7 and 8 for like people that I've watched it with too. Next movie is, my sister's gonna hate me for saying this one because she watched this last night and she was like, this movie is so boring, but I love this movie. It's a guilty pleasure movie. I watch it far too much, but it's My Best Friend's Wedding. People really hate on this movie, and I don't know why, because I freaking love it. I think it's so good. But the end scene where she gives their song away, I'm putting this one at like an 8 or a 9, and I think for the average person it's probably like a 2, if that. The next movie is like, I feel like this movie is such, I don't want to call it a hidden gem, but I feel like this movie doesn't get enough credit. I watched it several times over quarantine because they put it on Disney Plus while we were in quarantine, and it's called The Last Song. I don't know why I'm like, it's called The Last Song. It's The Last Song. This movie is so sad. It also gives me such serotonin vibes though, like it's so sad. I'm probably gonna put it on a like 6 maybe for me, and then probably I would say a 6 for the average person. I feel like a lot of people, at least people that I have talked to, cry in this movie. The next one is definitely cry worthy in multiple points. It's Love, Rosie. I have definitely talked about this one on my channel before, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. My sister actually just gave me the book, and I just found out that the book takes place over like 40 years, and I don't think that I'm mentally or emotionally prepared for that, because the movie destroyed me, and the movie only takes place over 10 years. I'm putting this one at an 8 or 9, and I feel like for someone's first watch, it's probably like a 6 or a 7. I don't know if multiple watches they would cry. I'm just a wimp. I'm only gonna do like 3 more movies, I think. And I'm gonna do the Mamma Mia movies, which are 2 movies, so I guess 4 more movies. Mamma Mia 1 and Mamma Mia 2. I cried during Slipping Through My Fingers in Mamma Mia 1. And Mamma Mia has always been one of my favorite movies. So when the second one came out, I was very, very excited. The second one, the part that makes me cry is when they all come in singing Dancing Queen, like the whole cast. And I also cry when Donna comes to Sophie's baby's like christening. So for Mamma Mia on the cry meter, I'm gonna put it at like a 5. And I feel like it's like a 1 for the average person, the normal people. Okay, then I forgot about another movie, so I have 3 more movies left. I'm gonna do Toy Story 3 next. If you don't cry during Toy Story 3, you're heartless. Like I'm gonna put this one at like an 8 or a 9, and I feel like on people's first watch it was probably also at an 8 or a 9. I think it'd be really weird to not cry your first time watching this movie. I cry every time, but I know like that's not normal. So the second to last one that I want to talk about is High School Musical 3. This movie is really super nostalgic for me, and it's just like, it is such a big part of my childhood, like an 8 or a 9, and I think for the average person watching it the first time it's probably like a 5 or a 6. And then the last movie that I want to talk about is a movie called Saving Mr. Banks, and it's the story of the writer of Mary Poppins. 7 or an 8, I think for me. For normal people, I'm gonna put it like a 3 or a 4 because I'm roasting myself. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I'm sorry if the lighting was super funky, but thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Yeah, bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.